Hello, welcome everyone to lecture number 19 of Fundamentals of Computing. This lecture is on functions of our operating system. It is in continuation to our previous lecture, that is the lecture number 18. In that lecture, I have covered process management and the memory management. In this lecture, I will cover file management, device management, security, coordination between other software and users. So, before going to the file management, I will brush up with the process management and the memory management. What we did in the process management, the role of the operating system is to manage the processes that are present in the system. Since there is only a single CPU, or you can say processor, and number of jobs are to be executed, these jobs will be executed once a processor is assigned to it. So, the problem comes how these jobs will be assigned to the processor for the execution. What is the criteria? So, there are various CPU scheduling algorithms that I have already discussed, that is used to decide which process or in which order these jobs will be allocated to the processor for execution. It may be your first come first serve, shortest job first, it may be round robin, priority scheduling, etc. Another thing what the operating system does is what? Its objective is what? The maximum utilization of CPU. Maximum utilization of CPU means what? CPU never sits idle. It means if one of the process which is waiting for input output, at the same time the P2 will be allocated to this processor for execution. For that, we should have an idea of what are the states of the processes in a system, whether it is a new or it is a ready, running, termination, or you can say terminated state, that is it has completed its execution, or the waiting state. So, depending upon these states, we will select the process from the queue and the CPU gets assigned to it. Ready means what? It is in the memory and waiting for the processor for its execution. Running means what? The processor is assigned to that process, say P1, and it is executing itself. So, this states of a process plays an important role in deciding which process is to be assigned to the processor in the system, so that the CPU never sits idle. This I have discussed in the process management. Apart from that, the job of the operating system is to maintain the inter-process communication and to prevent it from the deadlock. So, these are the activities that the operating system performs during the process management. Similarly, in the case of memory management, here the objective of operating system is what? To have the maximum utilization of memory. Maximum utilization of memory means what? The memory is utilized in a efficient manner, or memory is utilized efficiently. So, how it can be utilized efficiently? It can be for that you have to remove what? The internal and external fragmentations. If this is removed, then the memory is utilized efficiently. So, I have already discussed what was the internal fragmentation and the external fragmentation. There are the algorithms, that is the paging and segmentation, which are used to utilize the memory efficiently. Means how the processes memory is assigned to the different processes present in the system, so that each process got the memory and it will execute itself. Another activity that is performed by the operating system is the virtual memory concept. It means what? A process which needs a memory that is greater than the your main memory which is available, but still you can execute it by having the concept of a virtual memory. So there I have already discussed how the backing storage device is used for the storage as well as the retrieval of the pages that are required by the given process P1 for its execution. So this was the activities that the operating system performs during the process management and the memory management. Next activity or next job or function of the operating system is the file management. So file is nothing but it's a collection of what your related informations, or you can say data. So very first question comes, when we want to store the data, it has to be stored in some file. So how it can be stored? For that we used to give the file name. Now if I am giving a file name, that file name is to be checked whether this file name already exists or not. If it doesn't exist, then that file name is used to store that data in that particular file with the given file name. Who will do that? Yes, it's a job of the operating system. Another problem comes out when I want to delete a file or a directory from the system, then it has to be checked the name by which I recognize or recall the file or the directory is already present in the system or not. If it is not present, then how can it be deleted from the system, from the memory? So there must be something or some provisions that checks whether the given file or directory already present in the system or not. How it can be done? Obviously that will be done by the operating system. So what is done in the file management? Here the operating system manages files and directories on the storage system, including file creation, deletion, organization and access control. The operating system performs the following activities for file management. What are the activities? Create and delete file, create and delete directories, keep information such as location, status, use, etc. regarding files and directories, mapping files into the secondary storage. So first thing is what? How you can access the file. The file, you can access the file because it is stored in the memory. So that is divided into the cells where the data is stored, and file is nothing but it's a collection of these data. So it can be accessed in the sequential manner. Sequential manner means what? If I starts with the B, then next location is represented by B plus 1, then next is B plus 2 and then B plus 3. So if I want to access a data which is present over here, for that the pointer starts from here. First it will move to B, then to B plus 1 and then B plus 2 and then it reaches over here and the data will be accessed. So this is the case of a sequential. You may have a direct access also. If you know the address of this, you can directly go to that address and access the data that is stored over there. Or you can use what? The indexed access. In the case of an index, it's like what? Like a telephone directory. Here the name is there and the pointer is there which contains the address where the data is stored. So these are the various methods to access the file, or you can say directory. The type of access, next thing is the type of access. The type of access means what? It may be read, means you can read content from a file. It may be write, means you can write into the file. if it is append, then it means what? You can add something new into the existing file. And execution or execute, sorry, it means what? This file can be executed. And delete means the file is deleted. So this is the various types of the accesses for a file. And last one is the list. List is nothing but it displays the name and attributes of the file. Name and attributes of a file. Name and attributes means what? What is the name of a file, and what is the size of a file, when it was created. So that will be, that information you can get through the list. Then another thing is what type of file system you are using. It may be your FAT, that is file allocation table, or you are using a network file system. So that depending upon that, you can use the various access methods, maybe sequential, direct, index. Here the objective is what? How you can access a file, or how you can create a file or delete a file in an efficient manner. So that is again done by what? The operating system. Allocation method, this is used to check it out how this file has been stored in the storage devices. So it may be your contiguous allocation. Contiguous means what? Contiguous means in continuity. So 1 by 1, b, then b plus 1, and so on. So in this case you have the sequential access, means for getting this, you, if the pointer is here, then first one, this one, and then goes to this. Or you can have the direct access of it, means you can directly go into this, and this is what, how the file is accessed. Another method is what? It's a linked one. In the case of a link, what will happen? There is a backing storage, and here you have the differences where the data of a file is stored. And if I said file that starts from 2 and ends at, not the 2, say 5, and ends at a 9. So it is what? The 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So from here it will start, then it will point to, suppose next is what? 6, then next is what? 8, and then 9. So this was the link, means what? It contains the address of the next location where the data is stored. So this is the way in which the file is allocated or stored. One should also have an idea how the free space can be managed, because once you delete either a file or directory, then the space acquired by this file and directory will be released. Release means what? Now it is available. So how this information is maintained, so that this released space can be used further. Further means what? Can be used by the other file or directories. So what are the methods, how this can be done so that you can use the free space efficiently? That is again done by the operating system. So in the file management, what you have to do, you should have an idea how the file and directory can be accessed, what are the type of access of a given file, whether it's a read, write, append, what is the file system that has been used, and how the file is allocated in the storage devices, and how the free space, that means the space that has been released by the given file when it is removed from the storage device, can be available for the other files. So this has to be managed and that management is again done by the operating system. When we comes to the directory, here the directory structure may be, it is of different type. It may be what? It may be single level, that is here you have the, simply this points to the files. This is the single level. It means what? This is the directory which contains all files. This represents the files. Two level structure is also there. Two level means what? Here this further contains the directory, contains a subdirectory, and then it contains what? The files. Then you will have a tree structure that is used in the Linux and Unix operating system. In this case, it is like a tree, means here the root directory is there, then you have the subdirectories, then again you have the subdirectories, and then the files, or it may be subdirectory and then the files. So, and other directory structures are also there. So, it means for so many directory structures are there. Now, how to select which type of directory structure is most suitable for storing a data on a given platform? Who will decide it? That is again the job of the operating system. Okay, this was about the file management. So, the activities that the operating system performs in the file management is what? When you create a file, then the space should be allocated to it for its storage, and storage can be done in such a way that the data can be retrieved easily and fastly. Second one is, depending upon the directory structure, you can what type of directory structure is most appropriate for the given platform, so that the storage as well as the retrieval becomes faster. So, all this will be done by the operating system in the file management. Next job, or you can say function of the operating system, is a device management. There are so many devices which are attached to the computer system. It may be input device or it may be output devices. So, that has to be managed, and who will do that? That is again the function of a operating system. So, what it will do, what the operating system do, it manages the interaction between hardware device. It may be printer or maybe anything, and keyboards, that is input devices, and storage devices, and the software, often using driver to facilitate communication. So, what are the activities for device management? Activities is that is done by the operating system. First, it will keep track of all the devices which is attached to the given system. Then decides which device is to be allocated to which process and how long. Suppose you have a printer and two or more, say P1, P2 and P3 are the three processes that needs a printer. So, how this printer will be assigned among these P1 and P2 and P3 in a efficient manner? Efficient manner means what? If it has been assigned to this, then P2 should be involved in some other work, and P3 should also involve in other work. Once it is released, then it will check which is free among P2 and P3, which one is free, then it will be allocated to that accordingly. So, for that it should keep track of how long this P2 is using that printer, or you can say the device. So, it efficiently allocates device. Once the job is done, then that has to be deallocated. Here disk is mainly used for the storage purpose. So disk I've already discussed in the previous lecture. It is nothing but it is divided into tracks, and then tracks is divided into the smallest unit, that is called as a sector, where the data is stored. So you want to store at this particular sector of a given track, then it has to be moved under the read write head to locate that sector of a given track, and then the data will be transferred. The transfer rate should be minimum. Minimum means what? The excess of a data which has been stored at this place should be minimum. Why it should be minimum? Because how easily and how fastly you can access a data that is stored over here, that is the objective. So this can be done by using various disk scheduling algorithm, that is first come, first serve, scan, C-scan, look and C-look. These are the various algorithms that are available to compute the seek time, and obviously that will be better whose seek time is minimum. So how to select and how to decide which one is best suitable for minimizing the seek time, that will be decided by the operating system. Another, what you can say, jobs of the or functions of the operating systems, the security and coordination between other software and user. Security obviously means what? By using a password or the similar techniques that prevents unauthorized access to programs and data. Coordination between other software and users means what? How the coordination and assignment of compiler, interpreters, assembler and other software to the various users of the computer system is done. So what are the jobs of the operating system? First one is process management. It means what? It has to manage the processes in the system in such a way that there is a maximum utilization of CPU, or you can say processor. That is the objective. Then memory management. Memory management is what? How efficiently you are using the memory. So this is the utilization of a memory in a efficient manner. Then device management. Device management, obviously here it is also how efficiently the devices are used. So how the devices can be managed efficiently. And then the file management means how the file can be created, deleted, or in an efficient way. So these are what? These are the jobs of a operating system. So that is all about the jobs of operating system. We have the various types of a operating system. It may be, you might have heard about the Linux operating system, you might have heard about the Windows operating system, you have seen the Mac operating system, which is what developed by Apple, Windows is developed by the Microsoft, iOS is the mobile operating system which is developed and distributed by Apple. Android is operating system which is Linux based operating system used in the mobiles. BSD has a reputation for reliability in server roles. Richard Stevens used it for his own personal web server for this reason. So these are the various types of operating systems. So whether it's a Unix or it's Linux or it's Windows or it's Mac, they all have to do all these jobs that I've discussed. They have to manage the process, that is, they have to do process management, memory management, device management, file management, provides the security. All is to be done by this different type of operating systems. So that's all about the various jobs of the operating system and a little bit idea about the different operating system, that is Linux, Unix, Mac, then iOS, Android. Next I'll discuss more about the different types of the operating system in my coming lectures. That's all. Thank you.